Hello everyone, and welcome to my December 2017 plan with me. And today I'm working in my traveler's notebook, as you can see here, with my InkJoy multicolor pens, some highlighters, pencils, my mechanical pencil, Pentel mechanical pencil, and ruler, which is definitely essential for me because most of my stuff is just boxes. Although I'm going to be trying to do some more artwork, but first I want to show you what I did for the month of November. Actually, I'm going to really quickly flip through the previous month as well, because it's kind of a lead up of just the things that I've been doing. But so what we have here is my cover page, which kind of left some to be desired because I actually didn't know what to do, but I thought the turkey would be nice. As you can see here, these are my dailies, and I had a mood tracker and some spaces to do some art, but I just stopped doing them. Like it didn't seem like that was who I was, and as you can see, I've got blank pages because at one point, it just didn't work. But I started adding more color to my dailies because I needed it to stick out, just to really push the whole it's not just a straight line box. I wanted to try and get some art in there because it's really weird for me that I actually am an artist, but when it comes to my traveler's notebook and my planning and bullet journaling, I don't do a lot of art in it. So, I was trying by adding some color. This is the other half of my planning journal. It's, my goals, gifts for Christmas, the actual postings of how many times I do in social media, bills to pay, my convention setup, to give me a good idea of what's happening and what's going to happen next year. One of my favorites is my daily tracker. And as you can see, there are a lot of spots that are very open, and I do believe that I'm going to have to actually slim down. I was very hopeful that I was going to get a lot of work done, but I think I need to calm it down. That was my health tracker, trying to watch my weight and how fast I was on the bike and stuff like that. But it was more of a weekly thing, and I don't know if that actually worked for me. So I'm going to be doing a couple different spreads, still trying to figure out what's going to work for me on a weekly and monthly basis. But the first thing I have to do is get this cover page going, because if I'm not going to put a lot of artwork in the rest of the actual journal, I'm going to have to put a nice little cover page on there. And this one's going to be kind of interesting. I mean, I know in the first one I actually did a ninja head because, I just like ninjas. That's just who I am. I'm a child of the 80s, so ninjas is just my thing. And it's really cool because it's leading up to me doing a new project that I'm going to be working on in the new year called Ninja Empire. It's going to be a graphic novel where all I do is draw a whole bunch of ninjas fighting each other and trying to come up with different ways to make ninjas even cooler than they already are. And so I wanted to go ahead and draw another ninja, but not just because I actually am a fanatic about ninjas, but because International Ninja Day actually falls in December. So December 5th is International Ninja Day. So while everyone else is going to be all super Christmassy and stuff like that, I'm going against the grain and I'm going to draw some ninjas because, I guess I could have done some Christmas ninjas, but I just figured, an actual ninja in the front taking up 2 pages going, hey, International Ninja Day is going to be December 5th, just so that when I post it, people know, and I'll probably post it again on the 5th to keep people interested and stuff like that. But while doing this cover, I realized that the paper that I'm using, so I'm using some inserts from Michaels, and they are recollections. So they are the recollections inserts for my traveler's notebook, and it's really cool to have, but they are super thin. So I was really worried about how it was going to work with the ink and how much it was going to bleed through. And I see so many people using markers and paints and stuff like that, and it not being a big deal. I guess their paper is a lot different than mine because my paper was super thin, And I wanted to do some quick marker work, just a little highlight here and there, and putting in some spot blacks and stuff like that, and hoping that it wouldn't actually destroy the actual upcoming pages. And what I realized was I was wrong. So the marker, as you can see right there, the marker just bled right through the page, and it went through that page, it went through the page next to it, and then it went through the other page. So I have remnants of, marker work for my very simplistic monthly spread here. And of course I forgot that there's 31 days, so I had to put in that little extra down there. But like I said, my spreads are pretty simple. I'm not trying to do anything super fancy, but I did try and add some little elements with this one. And it is, I don't know if you can see it really well until I'm done with it, but I put like parts of a ninja star on the bottom or on the sides of the December thing. And so, I was like, oh, this will be cool. I'll put a little ninja flare on it, and that'll work. And it's not too much. Bold up this line a little bit. I started using black and red. And as you see me go forward, I started using this brush pen, and I've been using the brush pen for a while, and so when I move really fast, it gives me this dry brush effect, which looked really cool for me, at least with the font that was happening, so it looked as though I was using an actual brush and stuff like that. So it was really cool for me to do something, because if you've watched any of my previous plan with me's, you actually realize that I am not the best when it comes to fonts, and I'm going to try and change that here in the next coming weeks and stuff like that. But as of right now, fonts are just not something that I'm super duper good at. So having the ability for the brush to actually do it for me was really cool. Had to go back to my goals page because I think it's very important to have some goals to achieve every month. And so I went ahead and did that. Added some red, as you can see. So it's black and red with a little symbol, got a little ninja sword there. But as we move forward, and so I'm doing this tracker, of course, gotta have a daily tracker. But as I move forward, I start to realize that I don't actually know where to put a lot of the art because I'm using up all the space. Like, I'm trying to make sure that I utilize all the space, because it's not that big. So there's not a lot of space to go with it. So I'm really trying to utilize all the space. But with this, with this tracker, I went ahead and slimmed it down to one page, and hopefully I'm going to really knock that out of the park, because I want to make sure that I can get a lot better in my dailies than I was previously. And so I figured cutting it down to one page would probably help with that tremendously. With this one, this isn't going to be my health tracker, so it's a little bit different than the last time I did the health tracker. I've separated them out a little bit more, so I got my weight, and then the weight for my biceps and chest and stuff like that. So I'm actually putting down a goal. So the first column that's empty actually says goals, or what my goal is, and then this is where I started at the beginning of the month, and then this is where I ended at the end of the month. So I'm trying something a little bit different. Instead of just tracking, just going, oh, well, this week I did this and that week I did this. I'm going to have a goal, and I'm going to have a start, I'm going to have a finish, and see where I end up. I was able to actually put in another little ninja there, which was cool. I don't know if you noticed, but I actually came to the end of that insert. So I had to actually go to the second book, which is interesting for me, because I was like, oh wait, I ran out of space, I ran out of pages. But these inserts are really cool, so they're very fast to use and stuff like that. So it wasn't really that big a deal for me to just jump to another book and just keep going from there. What I'm doing here is I'm using the same spread that I did last month for my social media trackers. Nothing special here, just doing miniature calendars for each one, putting the dates in there, and then inserting how many times did I post in Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I think that it's very important for me to be able to see, because there are times in last month's spread where I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't post for an entire week, and I didn't even notice. Like, stuff would happen and I didn't even post, and so that really showed me that I'm falling short when it comes to my social media presence. And so this was a really great tracker for me to pay attention to. And so I went ahead and was like, you know what, I need to do this again. I was trying to black out the extra dates that were in November and try and give it like this faded out brush look, but in the end it just didn't look right. So I went ahead and covered it up and just have these black lines to say this is not when the day starts. So nothing wrong with having an idea and then it just not working at all. So I went ahead and fixed it, for my liking at least, and just use that dry brush to do the text and adding a little red to it so it gives it that black red kind of bleeding type deal, and that just works for me. As you can see though, I'm not putting a lot of artwork anymore in it because I've realized while I was doing it, I was like, you know what, I just really want to utilize this space. And I think if I had a bigger traveler's notebook, I would actually leave space to draw things. And I know that's an excuse, but that's just the way that I'm working right now. I really want to make sure that I utilize all the space. I put in a spread for art supplies because I'm always like, oh, well, I need this or I need that. I might actually do a spread for inventory one day so that I can say I have these, when do I need to buy new stuff? But I figured a simple one where it was just, this is what I want and this is what I need. And it just gives you a great visual to go, hey, these are the things. The last spread that I just flipped by was things to do in December because I'm going to have a break from school. So it'd be good to go ahead and plan some of the things. And it's like, what's the description? Like, what can we do over the Christmas break? How much is it going to cost? Once again, just giving me a nice visual for things to come and hopefully to catch my eye when it's like, oh wait, we could do this, and oh, we did this. So there was a little checkbox if something that I wrote in and did it. So this, I'm trying to do my finished pieces, and I don't know if you noticed, but I noticed it later, but I don't know if you noticed that it actually has a big misspelling in pieces, but when I was doing it, I really didn't notice. And so it's got a misspelling, which I then noticed towards the end and I try and fix, which you'll see. I don't know if it actually worked, but I didn't want to try and cover it up because these pages are so thin and it would stick out that I had this extra page on there. And I just figured, you know what, I'll just accept the fact that I made a mistake and I'll make sure not to do it again next time. What I'm doing here is I'm going back to the spread of the dailies. So before I used to do weeklies, so I'd have a weekly, but then I realized that my weeks, especially as a teacher, tend to be the same thing. And so every time I did the weekly, it was always the same thing. And I'm like, well, that's not really helpful for me. It just seems like it was more time to put extra work in to do these weekly spreads. So I decided to skip that and then just do dailies because I can add in my more tasks. So the top part is about tasks, and then the little two in the middle are for pending commissions, so stuff that I have that I really need to get done. And so, I like having that. And then my project tracker, which if I have a project that I'm working on, visually seeing it every single day, it's like, oh crap, I need to actually work on that. And then having a little status bar that I fill in with a highlighter and go, hey, you know what, we've made it 10% or 20% or 30%, so you really need to jump on that. It's been super helpful to me, keeping me on track and stuff like that. So I really like this spread, and I think maybe next time I might extend it to 2 pages for my dailies to give me more space to maybe track like an hourly or something else. I don't know. Well, we're going to probably try something here in the next couple weeks, but as of right now, this is really working for me, so I definitely wanted to use that again. And lastly, I like to do this weekly summary, especially of my social media, because it lets me know that, hey, I did X amount of posts, and because of the posts, I went up in likes or up in subscriptions and stuff like that. So that's really helped me. And then a little spot for summaries, so not just social media, but what in the world happened for the rest of the week. And so this little weekly thing has been super, super helpful, and I'm definitely going to keep doing that. So you'll definitely see a lot more of those. And so now I just wanted to go through, because last plan with me, people told me that they wanted me to slow down so I could show them, and they could see it more clearly. Just a simple box grid for my my calendar, a goal sheet, not too many because you don't want to overdo it, my daily tracker, which is very simple, but it gave me like 8 things to choose from. It was 8? So yeah, 8 to choose from. And so I think that's going to be enough for me to track my health tracker. Really helpful, at least to me, to make sure that I'm actually going to the gym and stuff like that. This is my social media tracker. It helps me with every day. Art supplies, what do I want, what do I need, divided by highlighter color so that they're definitely different. Things to do, check box, description area, and then how much it's going to cost. Finished pieces spelled wrong, but this way, because I really want to get more finished pieces done, so I wanted to make sure that that was there. But it's very simple. What did I finish? Put it down. What did I finish? Put it down. So that I can visually see. Once again, these are my daily spreads, and it just allows me to put down what my tasks are. The highlighted parts are the ones that are the most important, and then there's my weekly summary for the week. It summarizes my social media, which is something I'm really trying to work with, and then a little summary area to where I can actually be like, hey, this is what happened this week.